I tell you what, boys, it's good to come home from work and record a video. You know, it's quite refreshing. Good on the mind as well. It makes you feel like you've deserved to come home and do something you enjoy. Don't grow up, kids. It fucking sucks. Right, Mike, you need to move out the way a minute because you're too close to the camera and you're taking up the whole screen, you fatty. There we go. Alright, how you doing, folks? Something that doesn't suck, however, unlike going to work as an adult, is Preston North End versus West Bromwich Albion. So yeah, we're going to break down that as per usual on the Matchday report. Stay tuned for my verdict on the match, as well as the upcoming fixtures for October, and a little bit of a thing, just a little bit of a thing at the end as well. But before we start, please everybody jump on your Google and go to the Terrace Football, because they sell some of the best licensed football merch on this planet. I'm talking like t-shirts, mystery boxes, cups, clocks, mugs, everything. Right, I've had a Preston North End mug for a long time now from them. A travel mug with a proper mug coming soon. Got my jacket from there, got my phone case from there, and most recently I've got my shorts from there. Check them out. David Beckham shorts, swimming shorts as a matter of fact. Lovely stuff, innit? Obviously they're playing on the back light, you can see my tattoo. So that's cool, right? Anyways, I'm done fucking about. This camera needs to come back up now. Oh, I've mirrored me all set up just to show you my shorts. If you want to see more of my shorts, go. That sounds just. If you want to see, go on my Twitter in the description. Anyways, right, P&E versus West Bromwich Albion. Steve Bruce's boys. We scored for the first time in about 4 weeks, so that's good. So we'll do as per usual. We'll break down the first half and the second half, and then we'll do the rest. So the first half was off to an absolute flyer, as the keeper had to save 3 massive chances that we had, and it soon came running back, and finally we scored a goal. The lineup was ambitious to begin with Shawnee Maguire, but he worked really hard, and he had a few shots as well, I believe. For what that counts for. His work rate on the pitch and his ability to play that ball forward and drop back and come forward was absolutely fantastic. And I do think he should remain in the starting lineup, to be honest with you. Even if he doesn't score the goal, it doesn't matter. He's very good at working for the ball and setting it up for everyone else. And that's a good enough exchange for me. Anyways, something we did that was a huge improvement was running in field and playing a great ball forward after finding the space. We weren't going wide. We actually came running in the middle. It's like everything I've been saying for the past few weeks has just finally clicked, and it all happened in the space of 45 minutes. It was glorious. Anyways, going forward with the script, yeah. So the infield runs, they proved so effective compared to the wide crosses, as we had multiple shots on target. We had I didn't say multiple. Sorry, we had multiple shots in that very short break, with most of them being close to or if not on target. And we kept the ball afterwards as well. The ball came back to us. We need more. We need to see more of that. The rest was less busy. They had a good chance, but we soon showed our defence was still intact despite the forward change. Now I don't know what happened here, but we must have gone into the changing room at half time and had a beer because we scored a goal. Because we came back out afterwards and we were so shit. It was so, in true Preston North End fashion, we only have one good half per game. The other half is horrendous, and unfortunately that second half was fucking horrendous. So here's my points to make for the second half, and we had some horrendous rain, by the way, some footage of it on screen there. People came back for the second half bearing flags, so they came out of the tunnel after sheltering from the rain with some flags, because obviously we have our flag campaign going. At the start of the game there was like no flags, but everyone came back out with some flags, so that was cool to see that we're restoring some faith. But the second half, like I said, was very, very poor. We couldn't continue our great runs, and simple passes were failed more often than not. Hardly any efforts were at goal, whereas they had loads this half. Very nerve-wracking because our keeper had to show his absolute heroics this half. I must have shit myself about 4 times during that second half. It was unbelievable. I had to put new undies on when I came home. Don't take that seriously. I'm an idiot. Whatever I say, please don't take it seriously. I've got the mental age of a toddler. Anyways, we'll talk about the stats, then we'll go to the points to make, pros, cons and ratings. So we had 9 shots all game, with 4 on target, and they had 18 with 5 on target. Now this is the interesting thing about this match. It is statistically the best defence in the league being us versus the worst defence in the league, which is them. But it's also the worst offence in the league, which is us, versus the best defence in the league, which is them. Which is why before the game started I thought it was going to be another 0-0 tie. Because if you think about it, we can defend, they're good attacking. Fair enough. But they can't defend our poor attacking, but it's poor attacking, so they don't need to defend it. it was setting itself up to be a 0-0 draw. However, when you've got a defence as bad as West Brom's, it's pretty easy to knock a few past them. Of course, we only managed one, quite unfortunate. We could have had two, but it hit the post on our next closest effort, which was a shame. Would have been good to see McCann get a goal as well, but yeah, 1-0, we'll still take it, of course, but yeah, their defence is awful. Their forwards are very good. They're very, very pacey forwards. Very pacey, very clinical. Look like they've got a good foot on them as well, so it's very bizarre to see our team has put that much into making their attacks so vicious that they've forgotten how to defend. It's like the whole back line was just one person, and that one person was Harry Maguire. The defence is so bad. But anyways, they had the more spoils of the possession, which was to be expected. Because obviously, like I said, that second half was horrendous. They were just playing the long game with us. So yeah, that's that for the most part. I'm not going to talk about passes. Our accuracy was awful for most of the game because of that second half when we did have most of possession, which is the funny part because we didn't have a lot of possession in the first half, but we made the most of it. Possession doesn't win you a game, and we only had a few shots with few on target, but like I said, it's how you use that possession and how you use those shots. Can you be clinical with it? And we clearly was to begin the game, but for the rest of the game we wasn't. It's sort of like we scored the goal and we laid off a little bit. We had a beer, like I said. So yeah, a bit strange. They had loads of corners, which were very nerve-wracking, but of course we have good defence, so that's good. We had 2 yellows, mostly. One of them was stupid, but the other one was a late yellow to keep them from having an attempt on goal. Jordan Story took one for the team, so that's good. Anyway, some points to make now before we move on to our pros and cons and our ratings. This moves us up to 11th place, as you can see, with 16 points. We're just above Wigan on goal difference, and we're behind Watford by a point. Our goal difference now remains at 0 because we've conceded 4 and scored 4. So that's a very strange tally when you look at some of these other ones. Like you look at Burnley, they've scored 19 and they've conceded 12. Swansea are equal with 15 to 15. Blackburn 13 to 15 with -2. Sunderland 16 to 11. You see all these goals that have been netted or conceded in some teams' cases. Like you look at West Brom, they've conceded 18 goals, of course, 1 to us, and they've scored 17, so it's balanced. Then you'll get a team like who's conceded a lot of goals, 16, 24. Hull City conceded 24 goals, but they scored 13. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's quite a bizarre difference to see it equal. But of course Swansea are doing that as well, I suppose, but they've actually scored goals. It's a very small tally this late in the season, to be honest. It's not late in the season, like we're only 12 games in, but you know what I mean. So like I was saying, this moves up to 11th. We had Roy Keane in the stand last night as well, which was pretty cool to see. He was in the director's box on Tom Finney. History repeats itself with Steve Bruce and Aston Villa. Well, we thought it would have done because I think it was about 4 years ago, around this time, maybe on the same day, Steve Bruce came to Deepdale with Aston Villa and he got beat by us and he got sacked that day. And we thought if we beat him tonight, he probably would have got sacked, but he seems to be staying on for a bit, so he might have one more game left in him. I'm not too sure. We had a brilliant attacking first half and a brilliant defensive second half. Now we need to find a good balance between the two. Can we play a good attacking while playing good defending at the same time? When do we have to learn when it's appropriate to drop back, but we also need to know when it's appropriate to come forward, because most of the time we don't come forward. That's the only problem. But apart from that, it was pretty decent stuff. The first half was fantastic. If we played like that all the time, we'd easily be challenging for the top 6. But unfortunately, we don't, because with Preston we only have one good half. So we're going to the player ratings now before the pros and cons to wrap it up. Starting 11, Freddie Woodman. By the way, using Lancashire Live, because I really do not agree with SofaScore. It's so bad. And the good thing about doing the matchday report the day after is that we have a comprehensive rating from Lancs Live. Because when I'm doing it when I'm coming home from a game, they're not live yet and I have to wait. And I like to get these out as soon as possible, but of course last night was a late game. I only got home at like 10 o'clock. I had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't feel like doing it. Anyways, Freddie Woodman, number 9. Well, not number 9, but he got 9, which is very acceptable. He was there when his team needed him, saved a powerful Wallace shot before the break, and denied Grant in the second half with a wonderful save. Commanding and confident. Honestly, he was fantastic in that second half. The first half he had to make a good save as well, but them saves in the second half were beyond fucking sublime. Absolutely fantastic keeper, and I'm very, very sure that he's on par, if not better than Everson. He's so good. Such a good keeper. Great signing. Story is 6. He struggled with that guy. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. He got to grips with him towards the end of the first half, but not an easy night on the whole. Give him credit. He helped keep the clean sheet and he made a few important clearances and blocks over the course. Lindsay an 8, of course, the man of the match. A strong display from the big Scotland once again, held things together back at the back really well. Allowed the visitors a couple of chances through the middle, but on the whole impressive. Won his header and cleared the ball when required as per usual. Made a what tackle? He made a tackle. Took out Townsend's cross just before half time. Cunningham at 6, plenty of commitment, and his heart is in display, but loose at times. Win possession. And a little ropey with some of his defending. Saw the points home though, and clean sheet too. But bust a gut to get his team up the pitch in the closing stages. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Alan Brown a 5. I'll explain why that is the case in a moment, apart from what they've put. So combined with Brady well early on and was positive with his passing down the right, a little sluggish with some of his decision making, and that dude again did cause him problems. However, it does go deeper than just this. One player causing him problems and being sluggish. Of course, Brown was being played in the formation of a right wing back throughout a majority of the match, if not all of the match, and it does not suit him. However, we of course didn't bring in that right wing back that we needed in the summer transfer, so we can't do much about that, unfortunately. And as you'll probably know, he got subbed off for Brad Potts, and that's where not strangeness, but that's where the understanding comes in of having Brown in this position, because when you've got Brown in that position, he's not reluctant to come forward. He'll always come forward with that ball as much as possible if he's not passing back to the keeper, which he did quite a lot in the second half. But in that first half, him coming forward with that ball was fantastic. He's always chasing it, he's putting his shift in, he's doing good. But then, when we need to switch things up to a more defensive formation in this position, that's when we put Brad Potts on, because he's a lot better in the defending role when it comes to clearing a ball, winning the ball back and getting it back up the pitch. So that's why Brown is being played here rather than in the midfield now. And I think he still doesn't suit it, and he's not exactly fantastic in this role. However, I'd much rather see him here because he still looks decently comfortable, and over the next few weeks he'll get adapted to it, I hope. And if we can bring a right wing back in the summer, then that's just going to solve the problem. But if we don't, then I think Brown is a good attacking option, but he shouldn't be used all the time, he shouldn't be relied on. Anyways, going back to the ratings, we've got Whiteman at an 8. He was aggressive from minute 1, carried out his defensive duties superly well, controlled play at times in the first half, but had to battle and graft in the second, which he did as per usual. He did what we expected him to do. But going back to my point from a few videos ago, I think now Whiteman, he's very, very good defensively. He's super sound defensively, but when it comes to attacking, sometimes he's not exactly brilliant. But in the first half, he did really well. But like it said, the battle and graft in the second, which he indeed did. He couldn't really get forward, but that's more of a fault of the team. So yeah, Whiteman pretty good. McCann 8, fantastic display upon his return to the starting lineup, which I don't know why he left in the first place. He carried a goal threat in the first half, going close with 3 chances and hitting the post. His turn and pass found Fernandez in the build-up to the goal, and his intensity was crucial in the middle of the park. He used the ball pretty well too. Brady a 6, he started the game well and created a couple of opportunities with his creativity and quality of delivery. Managed 75 minutes and gave his all in a central role once again. Can be better on the ball, of course. Brady is more adept to playing out wide, maybe. So being more centrally is something he'll have to adapt to, I suppose. But I'd rather much see Brady try and adapt to the middle role and have Brown out wide personally, because like I said, we can change Brown for Potts at any given time. Yeah, I'd rather see him try and adapt to that new position, because I do see a lot of quality in his crossing, which is designed for out wide play. However, like I said, with Brown and Potts, you can change the two of them for attack or defensive respectively. And Brady is a good balance of both, but you can't really be changing that position 3 times in a match, so I'd rather see Brady adapt. But like I said, the ultimate goal is to sign a right wing back in the winter. Fernandez a 7, a full 90 minutes for the Spaniard, thank fuck, which will do him the world of good. Had to battle away and get stuck in, but his cross for the goal proved to be a vital piece of quality. Energetic and bright, will only get better, and he very well deserves the EFL Man of the Match for that game. He works for the ball so much compared to some players. He's fantastic. I love his attitude. He's absolutely brilliant. And the cross was brilliant to set the goal up. Shawnee Maguire makes his return to the starting lineup after a very long time of not being in that lineup. He saw a header saved early on, which he will be disappointed not to convert, but he started the move for the goal a few minutes later, sent a shot wide from 20 yards and linked Peony's play together really well, like always. His first start of the season and 75 minutes in the tank, and I think he should start in the next game. I really do think Maguire has more to show, because Of course, like a lot of people will say on Twitter and stuff, that Maguire's not the same anymore, he can't score goals after the injury. Which, fair enough, yeah, that could be right, but that header was really close, it was just unfortunate to not convert. That's no fault of Maguire's, that's the keeper keeping him out. It was a fantastic header, to be fair. So that's just very unfortunate. However, the way that Maguire were moving around that pitch last night was fucking superb. And the ball he plays out wide to set up an attempt on goal, it was great, very good. He's all over the pitch, he's pacey, he's got that pace, he's got that desire, he can win that ball back, he's good at keeping the ball by his feet, and when he needs to move the ball, he's really good at that as well. Of course, if he wants to take a shot, then fair enough, more power to him. We need someone who can hit the ball, because to score a goal, like I always say, you need to hit the ball, and if you're not going to hit the ball, you're not going to score a goal. So if Maguire's having a go at goal, so be it. Leave him to it. Why not? Give him a chance. So yeah, I do think Maguire should be starting more, because Evans doesn't have that much juice in his tank, and he might be good at shooting, but he's not as pacey. He's pretty slow, and he's not great at playing out like Maguire does when it comes to linking the pass together. And Parrott's still got so much improvements to make. He can't score a goal to save his life, and when he's moving around in that midfield area to try and maybe move forward with the ball, he makes so many different mistakes to the point where it's incredibly frustrating. So I really do think Parrott should be left on the bench as an impact sub with Evans and start Reece and Maguire, because that looked really good last night. And Reece took his goal emphatically, and you could see what it meant to him. His first at Deepdale this season. Some of his decision making was poor, I agree, on the ball, but his pace always posed a threat in behind and proved the winning moment, of course, and he attempted to try more with his pace as well, which was good. However, the Reece problem is sometimes when the ball's staring him in the face, he can be quite lazy at times when it comes to trying to win a ball back in challenges and things like that, but in terms of his attacking play, yeah, pretty good. But he was goosed by the time he got taken off as well. His fitness could be worked on, but he did work really hard yesterday, so benefit the doubt. And then we've got substitutes. We've got Potts, who had a 6, introduced to Shaw at Peony's defence down the right and got stuck in. He did a job. Yeah, fair enough. Woodburn, 5. His fresh legs were introduced with 15 minutes to go, but didn't impact the game and lost the ball a few times. Yeah, he was trying to do loads of different little flicks and stuff. I don't agree with that. Ledson, a 5. Battled away in the middle of the park and had a bit of freshness. Didn't see much of the ball. Ledson's just one of those ones where you put him on the pitch and he's very, compared to, say, a Whiteman. Who did he come on for? I think he came on for Brady. Because he definitely weren't Reece or Maguire. It might have been, oh no, because Brown would pot. Yeah, he came on for Brady. The problem is with Ledson. Ledson's more battle than he is anything else, so he's not reluctant to make that challenge. And when he does make the challenge, it could often result in giving away a free kick or something clumsy, which he did do most times. It looked like he was making a few clumsy choices, especially towards the end of the game. But yeah, it is what it is. And Parrott hasn't even been rated. I don't know if that's a dig at Parrott or not, but if I had to give Parrott a rating, I'd probably just say like a 4 or a 3, because he really didn't do anything at all. So I don't really think it is worth rating him, to be honest, unless we have a look on SofaScore really quickly, see what they've given him, if they've given him anything either. So we go to Preston North End, dead quick. West Bromwich Albion lineups. Sean Maguire. See, look at that. They only give Maguire a 6.2. Whereas they gave players, obviously, the back three are great, same with the keeper. Brown 6.9, again with Whiteman a 6.9, Brady 7.4, Reece a 7, Fernandez, okay, fair enough with that. But this is what I mean, this is why I don't agree with SofaScore. It's all down to stats. That's all SofaScore is, and I don't agree with it, because football is more than stats. It really is, because you can look at someone like Bruno Fernandes, who will do everything in his power to get as many stats on his paper sheet as possible to make himself look like a great player, but when you watch him play, he's such a soft ass and he's so boring to watch. So yeah, don't agree with it. What have they given Parrott? A 6.8. They give Maguire a lower rating than fucking Parrott. You see what I mean about that? That's why I really do not agree with it, but I really do not agree with that at all. But yeah, we'll wrap off with some pros and cons. So the pros, we've got 5 pros this time rather than 2 or 1. Excuse the background noise if you can hear that. So the pros, we took the early lead, we didn't waste chances this time. Far better attacking play, brilliant defence, reformed play and lineup to complement everything that I've just mentioned. And then something else I'm going to add on now for a 6th positive is that we were making more chances. And our 3 cons was we seemed hesitant to challenge when we was being run at, which it looks like we're a bit scared if someone's coming running at us. We're a bit we're a bit shook. We had a very poor second half, and we had an extremely low attendance for this season standards of only 13.9 thousand with 700 travelling fans, which is only 13.2 of us there. That's not a lot. And to be fair, it was 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night in atrocious weather. So I can see why not a lot of people turn, and it was on Sky. All the more reason to stay home, because you can watch it easily on Sky. You don't have to worry about iFollow or your dodgy Fire Sticks. So yeah, I can see why people wouldn't want to go, but those people are going to regret not going now. It's as simple as that. But come 2 weeks time, next weekend when we play Stoke at home, I reckon there'll be about 16,000 there, maybe 17,000. I don't know. Depends how many Stoke fans go. I think Stoke travel in some decent numbers sometimes. But yeah, that's it from me. That's our matchday report for WBA. I'm sorry it's late, but of course, like I said, I'm 18 now, so. Well, I'm 18 and a half, really. 19 soon, fuck me. You know, work's coming along. Simple as that, really. You just got to work to live. You live to work, you work to live. And that's what I'm doing at the minute. So, if I can't push out a video on time, that's the reason why. Saturday shouldn't be a problem to get the Norwich video out. And then come next week when we're playing... Who are we playing? Is it Huddersfield? After Norwich. No, Bristol on the Wednesday night. That'll be out Thursday, provided I don't have work on Thursday. I think I might do. The Stoke one on Saturday, I don't work weekends, so that'll be fine. And then Huddersfield again, it's a night game. I don't publish after a night game. Blackpool will be that'll be on the day. That's fine. So yeah, you get the idea. If it's a 3 o'clock game, chances and it's a weekend, chances are I can do the video on the day. But if it's a night game, then it'll definitely be next day. There's no beating around the bush, because you know, I share a room with a 7-year-old, my little brother. And if he's coming home from a night game at 10 o'clock, he's got school the next day. I can't record because I'll keep him awake. So it is what it is, unfortunately. Tricky times. So yeah, thanks to Tom for listening in. In the description, please check the description. There'll be a link permanently down in the description to a Swansea YouTuber channel called The Real Jack Army. Shout out to you, fella. The reason I'm doing that is because he does a monthly review series where he asks everyone in the championship to represent one YouTuber from a team supporting the championship. So let's say I represent Preston, he represents Swansea, someone else will represent Hull, someone else will represent Sheffield, the list goes on. You get the idea. And he chose me to be the representee for Preston North End for this series, which I appreciate a lot. So have a dig at that in the description. I don't know if it's out or not yet for October. I didn't feature last month because of some issues. But when the October video is out, I'll be there, and then there'll be plenty of other representees from other teams there as well. So yeah, give that a check out if you get the time to. Link in the description, that will be there in every video going forward. So yeah, take a look at The Real Jack Army. Thanks again for that. And we hopefully don't get dicked down by Norwich, because shooting one bird, then to get dicked by another bird, and then to draw to another bird straight after that, not ideal.